should these social media companies be able to prevent us from posting? Or being active on their platforms.
Yeah, they definitely flipped the script on the government's shit, right? So, it's taking that control and I mean, it is the platform they created. They technically have that control. So is it right for the government to intervene with that control and say, hey, wait a second, we actually control you. You don't control us. And I think that's the narrative that's happening right now. And, I want to recite a tweet. Or not a tweet, but a quote from Twitter. And it says, "We have determined that these tweets are in violation of the glorification of violence policy, and the user @RealDonaldTrump should be immediately permanently suspended from the service." Boom. They dropped it on him, right? And for all those that don't know of the tweets, I think it's worth mentioning what was said in those tweets that Twitter deems as potentially or glorification of the violence policy. Okay, and here are the tweets. Okay, these were on January 8th, 2021. President Donald J. Trump tweeted, "The 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America first and make America great again, will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form." Shortly thereafter, the president then tweeted, "To all of those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. So that could be interpreted in many different ways. Like Twitter says it's potentially violent because he's saying he's not going to show up to the inauguration, meaning it's safe for you to go there and do what you need to do. Yeah. Some people took it that way, where other people were just like, nah, he's just saying he's not going.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very, very gray line. And I think, at the end of the day, this caused an immense amount of violence in the United States with the attack on the Capitol, which I definitely obviously do not support and is unfortunate to see. But I think that it's a slippery slope that Twitter and all these other social media platforms are taking by censoring certain things over others. Because at the end of the day, the reality is that there is a lot of content on these social media platforms that go unpunished.
Well, let's be honest right now, if we look at the internet over the last 10 years, it really and truly is the Wild West. It really is. Like there's no governing, not really there's no policing, no internet police really that are stopping any of this stuff on the dark web or the governing bodies are the Googles and Facebooks, right? Mm-hmm. And governing those places where people are spending the most amount of their time. So it's things will change in the next 10 years. By the time my kids are pretty active on the social media platforms, I'm assuming things will be very regulated by then. You know what I mean? So, and to be honest, I think it goes back to a podcast episode we talked about where, the social dilemma, where it's talking about like it coming to the surface, the dangers of these platforms on your mental state are being surfaced right now. And people are understanding, it's an addiction and things need to happen to make it better and to make it a better space for everybody.
You and I recorded a podcast yesterday with a lawyer. We talked a little bit about TikTok, and one of the things that he said, and you agreed because you're also on TikTok as well, is TikTok is a safe environment. Like for the most part, there's a lot of positivity on there because when somebody posts something negative or when someone makes a negative comment, the community is there to basically attack that person and just wipe it out.
Yeah, 100%. And it is a very positive platform. And the example I gave yesterday was I had there was a video that went viral on TikTok for me of my dog pulling a ball on a rope, which was attached to the floor. It was like the suction cup on the floor and there's a ball attached to it. My dog's tugging on it. And so there was tons of comments. Like I want to say it was probably like a good 1,000 or so comments on it. A lot of people asking where they can purchase this product. But one person said, well, are you too lazy to walk your dog? And immediately there must have been about at least 50 to 100 people like responding to it, like with comments such as "relax, Karen," and and oh, just relax, like what's your problem, like go take your negativity somewhere else. Comments like that were happening. So it's funny because on a platform like Facebook, I find Facebook breeds a lot more negativity than a platform like TikTok, where people are just there looking for positivity, looking for stuff to inspire themselves, and it's just not a home for negativity.
Yeah, and so exactly. And so here's where I'm going with that, because I don't necessarily agree in more social media police or internet police is um, engagement over censorship being the solution.